this essay to point out some things that are very, very important. At least I know that for public health promotion, you guys are already well informed about that one so much. That one is easier. So now, in social policy, what is the main aim of social policy? What's the main aim of social policy, of a policy? In your PowerPoint, what's the main aim of social policy? Can anyone answer? What's the aim of social policy? These are simple.
For
What's the
health
aim of a
protection.
policy? For health protection. Okay. Well, the aim of social policy is welfare. So, if you are reading your social policy textbooks, the first thing you need to read is about understanding you can write down the things I'm saying. So understand the various definitions of social policy. There are various definitions of social policy. So there is no one definition. So if you're writing your essay and you are trying to define social policy, get your textbooks in social policy and then find at least 2, 3, 4 definitions of social policy. Summarize it in your own words. So the aim of social policy is welfare. The aim of social policy, that means regulate all these regulations. And welfare means that's like for the common good, for the common good of the populace. So I'm paraphrasing using my own words. So the main points that you must read in your social policy are, you can have a screenshot. You need to read around equity, power, social justice, social rights, and social control. These are important concepts in social policy. So first thing you need to read around the various definitions of social policy. Let me show you. This is on your notes. This is our own notes. So I don't know about your own, but these are in our own notes. So if you look at the outline, the learning outcome of social policy. Let me open it. So if you look at your learning outcome, your module handbook, there should be 5 or so. I think 5 learning outcome. So the things you are supposed to read, someone should be admitting the people that are joining. So the things that you're supposed to read in social policy. Okay, there are even 6 learning outcomes. I don't know, is this still 6 you have now in your learning outcome? 6 learning outcome, right? Hello, are we following?
Yeah, I'm trying to confirm that.
Okay, it should be the same. I don't think they have changed so much. So it should be similar. So if you look at learning outcome number 1, so they said key concepts of social policy. Key concepts. So your essay. So if you get a social policy textbook, let me just give you an example
Yeah, it's still
of
6.
social. Yeah, so it's still the same learning outcome, and this essay is 100 marks. Am I right?
Yeah.
So you should target at least 70 if you want to do well. You should target at least 70 marks. Or if at worst you can get 60, anything A or B is good. Is good for it. So I want to log into my library. Yeah, I hope I still have access to library. Okay. Sorry, where are they? How can I log into library again now? I've forgotten how to use these things again now.
Data, that catalog or something.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I've forgotten where to get all those things again. Catalog, where is it? Yes. Yes, then I will go to renewals. So I want to show you some textbooks to use to start, because I'm aware that many of you have not started reading. I know, I mean, for social policy. So, this is my reading list. These are different books based on based on the courses I've done. So now, okay, so this is a reading list of social policy. So you can take a screenshot of what you are seeing on the page. These are the authors. So type them and get to the original author. In particular, um, remember, these books. It doesn't mean that I read them for just get maybe one chapter, as like get my learning outcomes out from them. Okay. So you can take a screenshot of this of what you're seeing on the screen. Then I'll be taking a screenshot of this.
Yeah.
Go. So extract the different definitions of social policy. That's the first thing you need to do. Like I like this one, a critical introduction. Social policy, critical introduction. And then extract the different definitions of welfare. So I've said that the aim of social policy is welfare. Okay, so their welfare has different definitions. So extract and summarize the definitions of welfare in your jotter. So that's number 2. Then number 3, extract the various concepts. I've shown you the important concepts you need to have in your essay about equity, power, social justice, social rights, and social control. There are others, but these are the ones I was able to capture within the. I think we wrote 5,000 words. I think so. I don't know. No, it was 4,000 words. So make sure you write on these concepts. Then the last one, based on the learning outcome, he said understanding the impacts of social policy for contemporary public health policy. So the impact means what? The advantages and what? The disadvantages, right? So these and 2 and 3 are the same. You can't really separate the two like that. So impact on health and well-being of a specific population. Okay, so by impact it means you need to when you say critically analyze the policy, it means you need to define the policy, then uh, state the impacts. That means the advantages of that policy, and then state the disadvantages of that policy on the health and well-being of the population. And then you need to have a section on ethical issues that arise out of social policy. Okay, so this one is more of academic writing. This number 5, just about synthesis and arguments. They are all the same, so nothing much here. But number 6, he said retrieve, apply, and evaluate appropriate demographic evidence. So this, I think this was the thing I did that's helped me to get 8 in this course. I don't know what other people did it. So, but I know I was aware of this thing. So I was like, what exactly am I supposed to retrieve? So if you check your learning outcomes, you see that there are some assignments that they gave you on there's an assignment that involved different populations. So I'm going to show you from my essay how I did that. So having said this, you need to get this textbook. I hope people have not finished brushing it. So you need to get this textbook. Let me show you. It's called Introduction to Social Policy by Paul Speaker. Reading list. So, oh, sorry, not here. There should be a reading list in your. No, the reading list doesn't make so much sense to me anyway. So, but let me just go straight to here. So, Introduction to Social Policy. So, if you type this thing, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, hello, can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah.
Okay. So if you go to if you go to your reading list, just if you go to the catalog, type in Introduction to Social Policy. So get this book, this number one. You can just snap it, so you know. Introduction to Social Policy. Get this one. Just type. They will all appear. Divisions of Welfare. A critical introduction. Um, let me see. Any other thing again? Um, where are those textbooks now? If you go to the section in the library, that should be in floor 2. If you go to the section in the library, around this 361 point something something something. So if you go to that section, you will see other social policy textbooks. So get like 5 textbooks or 6 textbooks that you like. You check the table of contents, and then select the topics of that I've showed you now, things that you need to read. So let me guess, there is a particular one I'm looking for that did justice. Let me search by author. So there is this author that they normally quote in your lecture notes. He's called Paul Speaker. Paul Speaker. Paul Speaker. Paul Speaker Paul. So Speaker Paul. Yeah. So this is the author. So he has written so many textbooks. So but the one I'm looking at, okay, now I've seen this one now. Policy analysis for practice. Applying social policy. So this is one of the books that you can get. Then the other one is in fact this book I praise. Okay, thank God there's an e copy. Thank God there's an e copy of this. I think this book has been borrowed. I don't know whether it is remaining. This particular one, this will give you a foundation. Yes, I know. Okay, yeah, you guys are lucky. So one is copies available in the library now. You can still request in advance. So go and get this book and read it. It will give you a basic understanding. So thank God there is an e version of it. So you just click on it, then log in, so that you'll be able to access the book. Log in with your email and password. Are we following? I need feedback. Are we following?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to open the. So it said I want to read online. So this book is a basic foundation of where you get all the most of the things. Yes. And that concept you need to define in your destiny is needs and welfare. The concept of needs and the concept of welfare. Okay. So in addition to what I've already shown you. Okay. So it's not. I don't mean that it's every part of the textbook that is. Just read the part that is important to you. You are not doing a PhD. So I've shown you what is important to read. So inequality is important to discuss inequality. Define social policy. There are different definitions. So you see some of them here. Then trace the references, the persons that they quoted. Remember, you cannot be quoting per speaker alone. So if they quote somebody, you retrieve the original textbook if it's in the library or the journal. So get this book, and thank God it's a soft copy, so everybody can access it. So try and go through it. Try and go through it. You will get the arguments, the debates that you need, the critical analysis of what is social policy. You'll be able to get them here. And then what is welfare. So having said this, so this is just a foundation. So if you go to the library where you have this per speaker, you will see other social policy textbooks around that area. So that is 361 point something. I know that's area 361 point something point. So around this area, you see other important social policies. So get them, the ones that you like, and then go through the topics that I've shown you. So let's look at the essay now. How do you actually apply all these things? So remember the module learning outcome number 6 that I showed you. So it said retrieve, apply, and evaluate appropriate information on demographic, epidemiological, and social dates relating to social policy and health. So if you check the things that have been taught, which I don't have access to your lecture notes, but if you check what have been taught, check the assignments that you are given or the personal reading, the directed reading. There might be something that they gave you to around different countries. They tell you to look at maybe Nigeria and all this and compare. So make sure you do that assignment because exactly in your essay you will need it. And I'll show you how I did mine and how I applied them. So let's look at the essay now. So this is my introduction. You can write your introduction anyhow. This is not the perfect introduction. So you state your aim, very important. The aim of this essay is to analyze SYZ policy using capability approach or capability framework. So I'll explain what capability approach is. And then remember they said what and what implications for effective leadership. Very, very important. There are two parts. You don't just check your module. What they say said concepts of social policy, right? And is what implication for development of what effective. So you need to write something around leadership. How the knowledge of social policy can help in effective leadership. Okay, in relation to health, in public health. So make sure that you have a paragraph on that. Otherwise, you will not get full marks. So let's go. So I started with this section is normally written last after you have written the other part of the essay. You write this section last. Okay. So what did I do? I did a brief introduction. Like I told you, you need to write on inequality. So if you're writing on housing, there are topics that you can write. If you're writing on housing policy in the UK or housing policy in US or housing policy in Africa in any country of your choice, you need to get statistical data. So let's see how we did that one in this essay. Okay, so let me start from. I started with defining social policy. Okay, now if this is just like this paragraph is saying that there are various ways of defining social policy. That means there is no consensus. There is no one way of defining it. So, and you need to have read so that you'll be able to get the different ways. Okay, so me after reading wide, I was able to identify two competing ideologies on. So one of them. So this it is me. It is I am the one that is summarizing this ideology. So based on after I have read different. So one of them is is coming from the angle of that you use policy to address social problems. Social problem means the problems in the society. So you know that health is beyond the biomedical definition of health. So there are other social determinants of health. So social policy, one ideology sees it as a way of using policy to address those social determinants of health. Those things that doesn't look like health, but they affect health indirectly. So something like in the environment, the housing. Why the other views social policy as an instrument of welfare. So these are the two um, ideologies I was able to get from this Hill 1996. There's a book I was reading then. So so you can see so you can see that one is coming from the problem side, while the other one is coming from the well-being side. Well-being and welfare. There's a debate around what is welfare, what is well-being. So you see all those things in your textbook. So you're able to summarize it. Okay. Now this is another people again. This is another person again. So social policy. Okay, so I'm now trying to explain the people that said what they said. Okay, so this is Williams 1989. So he said that social policy is aimed at improving the welfare of the society. Now I'm trying to define what is welfare. I mean to summarize, not to summarize my own words. So after reading, I said that welfare is it simply means well-being. So well-being, we all know, is like what holistic health. So it's not just the biomedical; it's a complete state of both physical, mental, social, environmental, and spiritual health. Okay, so that is what well-being is all about. There are different debates about its definition. So now, now there is an opposing view that shows that social policy is is concerned with is targeted towards people that lack well-being and welfare services. So people that lack well-being and welfare services. So one aspect is saying that social policy is used to improve well-being for everybody at large, right? But under some other authors are saying that social policy is not that is majorly targeted to those black and ethnic minority groups. That means those people that are at more risk of ill health. So one is looking at it as just improving the welfare of everybody, both the rich and the poor, and both those that have more access and those that don't have more access. But some other people are saying that no, it's not like that. That it is targeted at those that those that lack it. That means those that are at more risk. That's like bringing out the idea of inequality. Okay, so so here this whole things I'm writing here is just about what I'm trying to expand on what I said, the two polarities in the definition. So this one is about welfare. Now the second part of social policy, some other people are saying that it's not just about welfare. They said it is from the viewpoint of addressing social problems in the society. So when you read your own, remember that you are not supposed to copy this work, but if you read the textbooks, you will see different ideologies about what social policy is. So start your essay with those various definitions. Any questions at this point? Hello?
Yeah, we're following. We can hear you.
I mean, any question? Any question at this point?
For me, no, it's clear.
All right. Okay. So read about that. This guy is called Titmus. You see most of these things in that book I showed you in social policy and theory also. So you just do your own work. It must not be exactly what I wrote. There are many definitions there. So, but just make sure you balance it. I'm just giving you an idea. Okay. So now look at this word. I said Tismo's definition of social policy is not without what criticism. You see that? So that is critical analysis. So when you state something, you criticize it. Your criticism can be both positive and negative. So these are all in the textbooks. So this is the theoretical part, okay? So I criticized whatever I I read. I try to get something either for or against it, okay? So this is Titmo's definition of social policy. So he gave a very long definition, which involved the various dimensions, the study of social needs and problems. So I don't want to start going into details because I don't have much time. So, but um, what I said was that it was focused, according to Speaker Paul, that's that book I told you. He said social policy is not solely focused on studying social needs and policy. Rather, it focuses on the content of the policy and its impact on the population. So I'm paraphrasing what I read. So I changed population to what? To populace. Okay. So there are other criticisms that you can get from your textbook. All right. So you can see I'm still in definition. Another definition of social is the one that uses it as collective intervention in the economy to influence access to welfare services. I'm still paraphrasing livelihood and income as welfare services. So collective intervention in the economy to improve access to welfare services by everybody. Okay. So um so let's go. I'm still now I was now bringing in the remember I said there are concepts in social policy, right? So you need to know what is social control. Okay. What is social control? So social control can be viewed from two perspectives. That is also critical analysis. You're not trying to define something from one angle. So one perspective sees social policy as a tool of compulsion. If you can see, I'm still paraphrasing. So one aspect views social policy, like the COVID-19 now, they will just give a rule and force people to do what? Obey it. You don't understand? So to think in a certain way, okay? So why the other sees social policy as a tool that promotes peace and cooperation in the community. So make sure you write something around social control. Make sure you write something around social control. Okay, so in your policy, so if you're saying like what was that policy we said now? I think the examples we gave. So if you're analyzing maybe housing policy or any other policy at all, when the government gives instructions, some people will start complaining. They are restricting my rights. So these are the arguments that you can bring in. So that's social control, restricting my rights. Why some other people are saying it is for common good. You should wear your mask to protect others from getting COVID-19. So these are the debates. So in your textbook, you will hear about this man. It's called John Rawls. He has a theory of justice, Rawls' theory of social justice. So you can also read about it. He's talking about equality and equity in distribution of welfare services. Okay, so welfare services include all services that are targeted to improve the well-being of the population, including health services and other services. So read about John Rawls' theory of justice. Okay, you see them in the textbook. So then remember in your PowerPoint, you will see in your lecture notes. Please follow your lecture notes. So it's very, very important that as you are reading your textbook, open your PowerPoints, keep them by side to side. Try to find out where they got the various definitions of whatever they got. To find out where did they get the definition. So, for example, when I was writing this essay, I was looking at my lecture notes to find out because you cannot quote your PowerPoint. So look at your essay. You can see that your PowerPoints. They are saying what welfare. What is it? Why is it important? Social policy. What is it? Why is it important? Discuss about power, public health, and social policy. So these are the things to guide you in writing your essay. So if you're reading textbook now, go and find the answers to all these things. All these things that's all those questions. You can see directed study. You take it serious. Okay. So now in the essay, they will give you some. You can see they're even giving you the learning outcomes that are related. So now look at in the PowerPoint they gave you the definition. So if you read the textbook, you will find out where did they get this definition. So there are different definitions of welfare. So now here, welfare is government sponsored programs. Okay, just like all those benefits you see in the UK, those things are welfare. Benefit for this one, benefit for this one, for widows, for orphans, all those things. They are all welfare packages. Okay. While another definition of welfare is that welfare is the state of good health, happiness, and comfort. So these are two, but you cannot quote these PowerPoints. So you must find out where where can you get a similar information so that you can reference it, because you cannot come and reference your PowerPoint social policy lecture. That would be invalid. Are you following?
Yeah.
All right. So you can see the different definitions of social policy. Policies aimed at welfare. So if you read your notes, if you follow your notes critically, you'll be able to write a good essay. At least you know you need to write the definition, you need to write the aims of social policy. You need to look at the three models of social policy. Which one does your own policy apply? There are three models of social policy: redistributive model, the developmental model, and productive model. So now, if you are reading your textbook, you read about what is distributive model, and then which one applies to your topic, to the particular topic that you are reading. Okay, so um, let me go back to my essay. So these are examples of, so these are the different topics that you can write now in this essay. You can write about any of these topics that are on the screen. Look at pension, healthcare, social housing. Can you see housing policy, family policy? You can take up any of these ones as a topic. Education policy, crime and justice. These are very, very good topics that you can write. You can write the social security. Okay. So I believe that these things are already in your lecture notes, right? So I don't need to stress them. Abby, this thing is your note, right?
We didn't really get that part. Don't clock
Okay.
the
You can take a screenshot. You can take a screenshot. These are examples of policy that you can write
Yeah, then
in
one.
your then your note, right?
Yes, PowerPoint.
I believe that it should be there. So these are examples of social policy that you can pick one and start developing your essay on it. All right. So I learned to what else is important here in this. So let me go back to, okay. So now, do you know what I noticed from here is that I need to write a paragraph on power. I need to write something around power generally. The impact of power. What is power? So let's look at my notes to see. So you can see that from here now I've changed style. You can see from here now I'm writing about what? Welfare. You see that the concept of welfare has been viewed from where? Many angles by different scholars. So I now started to remember I've read my notes so to know I have an idea. So I now started to analyze it, okay? To state the aim. Can you see that aim of welfare in your notes? Can you see that? The aim of welfare. You remember in the lecture note there's a place they said aim of welfare, right? So now I'm bringing it in, okay? I'm bringing in the aim of the aims of welfare. So welfare itself has um, welfare can be seen as services given to persons that are incapable of taking care of themselves. Okay, without that's those services you give to people that cannot take care of themselves, right? Then also welfare can be seen as flourishing. So you can see flourishing now means what? Well-being, health, happiness. So you can see two angles now, two uh, um, polarizations in the division of welfare. So you can see it as a way of taking care of people that cannot take care of themselves without other people's assistance, right? While you can also see it as as holistic health, happiness. Okay. So now that idea of flourishing, that idea of health being well-being, being happiness. Sorry, that idea of welfare being happiness, being flourishing, and holistic health has its root. I'm linking it to sense capability approach. So another thing you need to read, I hope you are taking notes. Another thing you need to read is now is your capability framework. So I'm going to explain it so that using COVID-19, then you can now apply it to your own topic. Okay. So now capability approach. Okay, sorry. According to Sen, welfare is seen as happiness. Anything that you can do to make you happy. Okay, to give you maximum satisfaction. That is that thing is that thing is welfare. So the services that the government provides to make people happy, to satisfy them, to get an ultimate satisfaction, that is called welfare. And this is rooted in sales capability framework. So let us talk about the capability approach. So what is the capability approach? The capability approach states so the capability approach simply states that Microsoft Word open now. What's happening? So sense capability approach simply states that when people are provided with the right environment, when people are provided with the necessary resources to support themselves, the necessary resources to take care that will support their health and well-being. So if people are provided with these basic resources, now these resources will be converted into various capabilities. And then when people develop these various capabilities, then they will now achieve welfare. So these are the three key concepts in SEM's capability approach. So I'm going to use COVID-19 to explain that. I'm going to use COVID-19 to explain that. So where's my COVID-19 capability approach? So let's look at COVID. Okay, so now this is Amita Sen. You must read about this man. That is there are other frameworks, but capability approach is the easiest for me. Capability approach is the easiest for me. So this man here, um, so he provided a framework. He said that resources are used to build up capabilities, while capabilities exercised through choices result to the achievement of functioning. So here I wrote there should be. So what are the various resources that you can provide to an individual so that he can achieve what the things that he wants to achieve? So capabilities are the various things that somebody wants to achieve in life. The various, for example, now if you are treating a diabetic patient and from your own perspective, you think that what that person wants, what is most important to that person is giving the person diabetic drug. However, the person needs a gymming facility in order to exercise himself. So from that person's perspective, what he or she needs is different from what you are providing. So the ability to create to give enough environments, there is the different resources such that somebody can have the freedom to exercise what he or she wants to achieve what he or she wants to achieve. That is what Sen is talking about. So the difference between capability and functioning is that this functioning is this functioning means that the person has already achieved what he wants to achieve. So let me see. Um, so now this is the end state. Here is achieved. Okay. So now here the person has various abilities or choices to choose from. Okay. So the difference between capabilities and functions is that in capabilities, someone has various options. So in resources, the government have provided the right environment, maybe through health education, provision of welfare services, right? Those are resources. Now, in capabilities, the individual himself have a lot of options to choose from. So that in the individual has what we call what freedom. He has freedom to choose. He has a lot of choices. His choices are not limited. Okay. So when he's able to choose from these various, from when he is free to choose from these resources provided, to choose anyone that he likes. You cannot say that's the whole aim of let's say you are treating a patient, or okay, let's use housing policy. So now in a house, you expect that the various capabilities to provide in a house. What are the good qualities of a good house, of a good housing in public health? What are the things that a good house should provide in public health?
Green space.
Hello. We have space one. What else? Yes. So
Ventilation.
space is an example of a capability, right? Good.
Yes.
What else? What else again? They
Cross
add
ventilation.
Electricity.
ventilation. Good.
Electricity.
Warmth. That is it. So a good house should be warm. Should be able to provide warmth during winter, right?
Yes.
So now when this individual, when the things that are necessary for health are available, the things that are necessary for happiness are available, those are the capabilities. So so the person should have a choice. He can choose to develop from any angle of this. So for example, now he can choose, okay, because my house has a space, I can choose to grow my vegetables, right? So I can choose that what I want is to grow vegetables. So by the time I now have a garden, by the time I now have a garden, that means that what? I have achieved a function because this is what I desire. This is what is important to me. You can see, but from your own aspect now, angle as the provider, you may think that what is more important to that person is warmth. Okay? So some rules are restrictive in the sense that they limit the options somebody is able to choose from. You see? So but if somebody is exposed to the right environment, just like in Nigeria, let's say you know that in Nigeria internet is a problem, right? Do you have access to the internet?
No.
Good. So that means that assuming that you want to watch a 20
Lecture.
hours online course that is free on YouTube, because of internet, you will not be able to achieve that, right? So that means that your capabilities are your options
Okay.
are limited. You see that? So because your options are limited, you have fewer choices to make. And because you have fewer choices to make, you will not achieve the optimum amount of functionings that you want to achieve. Actually, you have fewer options. So when you increase the options, you increase the capabilities. And then allow the individual. Remember, in health promotion, we talked about empowerment. So you allow the individual to be able to choose whatever he wants to develop. Okay, so you're not the one forcing the individual to make choices about his health. No, you expose him to the right environment, expose him to the necessary resources, like for example, providing a staff or nurse, doctors. This can be an example now. So I'll show you my own example in COVID-19. So you need to pick a topic and then browse the necessary resources, the capabilities and functions that can be achieved. So let me show you using COVID-19 for example. So SEN. So I said capabilities. Okay, so SEN introduced the idea that resources are used to build up capabilities. So take note of this. So resources are used to build up capability. That is capability approach. Okay, so that's the first principle in the capability approach. Then, while capabilities exercised through choices result to what? Achievement of what? Functionings. That is this is a simple, this is a layman, because for me to understand this, I had to watch so many videos on YouTube. Type in Amita Sen capability approach on YouTube. Watch videos until you understand it. Once you understand it, you'll be able to write a good essay. So this is what a capability approach is about. Turning your resources into capabilities, and then turning your capabilities through choices. Because you have enough many capabilities, so you choose one or two, the one you want to, and then anyone you have achieved is called functionings. So capability means what? Being able to achieve a combination. If you see that keyword, achieve, is very important, that you achieve a combination of functionings. So on the other hand, functionings means having the ability, hmm, having the ability to, or freedom to do or become what one values. Now remember, I'm trying to, okay, here I'm quoting that directly. You know, this is an example of secondary referencing, because the book I am quoting is Blackmore in page 31, but this Blackmore is quoting Amita Sen in 1980. But because I don't have access to Amita Sen in 1980 book, okay, so I have to be honest enough to say, to let the author know that the book I actually read is Blackmore, and where I'm reading is, I read from page 31. But I tried to trace who Blackmore is quoting from. He's quoting from say 1980, and I couldn't get access to the book. Okay, so if you cannot get access to the book, this is how you say you do your secondary referencing. So you quote the original author, the person whose idea it was first, then cited in, then the book that you are now reading with the page number. So that is secondary referencing for you. So Sen calls these functionings beings and doing. So you can see, so now he said capability can be viewed in the light of positive. Now I'm the one that is trying to explain now. Okay. After having understood, watch videos, trying to understand it. So now I said capability can be viewed in the light of positive freedom. What do I mean by positive freedom? Creating an enabling environment, or the opportunity. Remember I told you, creating enough choices. Okay, so creating enabling environment or opportunity one has that supports living a good life that one values without any form of restriction. So I can say from what we have said here now. So creating various abilities. Okay, so these abilities is now opportunities. Okay, opportunities. So just like us now, we don't have access to internet. We have to pay for every damn data. In fact, we don't even have unlimited internet. So unlike in UK here, where you have uh, unlimited internet, so you can become whoever you want to become in the UK. So creating those opportunities, so that somebody I can now choose that I don't want to become. Maybe I was a nurse in Nigeria, but now because of access to internet and on unlimited internet, I can choose that I want to become an IT engineer. So I can learn anything I want to learn online. So I'm the one that made the choice. But from your own end, you might be thinking as my parent that my child must be a nurse. You see that? My options are limited. So Amita Sen is saying that we need to provide the right environment and opportunity for people to choose whatever they want, whatever they value in life, and develop it without any what restriction. Okay. Now, it's important to note that these capabilities can only be converted through functionings. Sorry, they can be converted to functionings. Choice to be very, very important. Are you following? Hello?
Yeah, yeah, we're following.
All right. So capabilities can be only be converted. So you can see that, like I told you now, capabilities are opportunities. Okay, options available, choices. So when someone now makes a choice to become or to do a particular thing among those options, that's person now, that capability is now converted into functionings, right? So Ken has said there is something that's called positive freedom. So positive freedom means the freedom to do what you value, anything that you like, that is important to you, right? While negative freedom means freedom from harm. Okay, so having so once you understand this is that's all about capability. So it's very, very simple. But people they think it's very hard. It's just anything that you don't understand. Watch YouTube videos until you understand it. Watch different videos, even if it's 10, watch it. Okay, so watch it until you understand it. Read different. Go use Google, use pictures, anything until you're able to capture it. So this is all about capability approach. Okay, so now the capability approach is aimed at identifying the impact of policy on human capability. So now, hello, are we following? Listen very attentively. So now I'm trying to explain, bring it to my topic now. Human capabilities. What are the difference? What do I mean by human capabilities now? What do I mean by human capabilities? Can you see the difference? The human capabilities here. Ability to be what? Hello. I
Able
want,
to participate in
good,
conversation.
good. So your ability to live in a warm house. Are you seeing that? So
Mm.
the positive things, ability to access healthcare, participate in community relationship. These are just examples.
Yeah.
Okay, from after I've read and understood what this thing means actually, because I was trying to understand it. So what are the various opportunities that you need to have? You need to have access to job. Okay, you need money. You need access to healthcare, access to anything at all. Okay, so the capability framework helps us to so what's the aim of the capability framework? It helps us to understand when we are making policies. So if you are making a housing policy or a disease policy, you need to understand how does that policy impact on human capabilities. That's all. So the whole aim of capability approach is to understand what various policies, how they affect human life. How does this uh policy. So if you are constructing a road now and you have rules and regulations of constructing a road, how does the policies and the regulations of road construction impact on humans' opportunities to access all these things? That is what capability approach is all about. So now look at it. Now I'm trying to apply it now. So and whether the resources, can you say example? What are the examples of resources? Remember I mentioned resources here, right? So what are the various resources that the government can provide to us? Like in the UK, we have potable water. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing housing?
Yeah.
You see that? So all those things that we say government is not doing this thing in Nigeria. You can see that sometimes the problem in our country in Africa is the government are not providing the necessary resources. That's number one. See that? And then because they are not providing these resources, our opportunities are what? Limited. Opportunity means the ability to, okay, ability to do something. If you want to become a pilot, I don't know whether there's any place, any school that you will read. Yeah, set it as. So, okay, so I have my time is almost up, but I just wanted you to understand what's capability approach. So So because the government don't provide all these resources, our options are limited. So it is now restricting us. Okay. So now, the capability approach, browse on critique of a capability approach. Okay. So Sen failed to provide a list of the minimum capabilities. So that is where that's one of the critique. So the three people you must read is Amita Sen. Number one, you need to read Nussbaum and you need to read Robens. Read their articles. Read their articles. These are the three people that's the three key figures because these two people they criticized the capability approach and they added one or two things. So Sen did not provide the list of minimum capabilities. So while Nussbaum, because of Sen's limitation, Nussbaum made an attempt to provide the list of minimum capabilities. Then Robin also had his own contribution towards that. So let's see. Okay, so you need to find out the critique of capability approach. Some people say it's too individualistic. It pays little attention to groups or social structure. So find out these things are in textbook so you can summarize them in your own words. Okay, so Nussbaum identified the minimum capability approach. So now you can see that all this while I've discussed the theoretical part, right? So from here, from this point now, I'm trying to apply it to my topic now. Are you seeing that? So in your essay writing, one part is theory, the things you read from textbook, okay? The theoretical background, anything at all, the theory to support it. Then the explanation. Then the other part is applying it to your topic. So I now said policy response to the pandemic was via the lockdown implemented in the UK. And I stated the aim. So you should state the aim of your policy. Yes, for 1140. So you should state the aim of your policy. So the aim of my policy is to do what? So the aim of the housing policy is to do what? To provide safe housing for and provide homes for the homeless. I'm just giving an example. So any policy you are choosing, state the aim of the policy. Now, what are the steps that we are? What exactly is the content of the policy? So now I said the policy responses involved. What are the things they did in that policy? Provision of COVID-19 test kits. Are you seeing that? Now, which aspect of um, which aspect of the capability framework are these things here? Let me know who will get it. Which aspect of capability approach are the things here now? The things I've mentioned here. Can you see my screen?
That's the second one.
Yeah. So we have discussed capability approach now, and we said they include resources,
Yeah.
capabilities, and functioning. So among these three things now,
Resources.
using you exactly. You see that
Resources.
it's simple. So these things are what resources, the test kits, the quarantine rules, regulations, everything. Travel receipts. These are all resources. Face mask, So what are the resources in the policy that you want to analyze?
Okay.
Do you understand? What are the things that the government did? Or what are the rules actually? Okay, so those are your resources. So for example, now using housing as a case study. Housing policy in the UK. What are the qualities of a good house according to the UK regulations? What they say that a good house must provide. So if you say UK housing policy, qualities of a good house. Just giving you an example so that you know how to have these things are not hard. Qualities of good housing. So what are the resources now using housing policy, for example? Are you seeing a good home should be what?
Well ventilated.
Airy, well ventilated. You see that? So those are the resources, ergonomic considerations, the materials used, so the height, all those things. So those are the qualities. You should be able to provide warmth during the winter. You should have safe water. So those are the, the, resources that are needed, right? Okay, so now So now you can see these are the various policies that the government have done so far. The COVID-19, the subsidy. So you need to use Google to find out what the policies. These are the things they have done so far in order to contain the pandemic. Self-employed, bounce back loan scheme, and all these things. Now I'm trying to now relate it to. I said this is rooted in Paul Speaker's concept of vertical distributive nature of policy, in which the beneficiaries are different from the donor and resources. Okay, move from so that sorry, the beneficiaries are different from the donor. So the resources in vertical distributive nature policy, the resources move from high income social class to low income social class. So there is a vertical distributive policy and there is a horizontal distributive policy. So these are the things you will learn in that book, in that Paul Speaker's book. Okay, so now I said Cabrita has practical lockdown in the has practical application in the lockdown policy. For example, so you can see I'm not trying to link it to my talk. So the resources used are what? Test kits, just like we said now. Health workers. Now I'm using my brain to apply it. You can see I'm not quoting anybody now. I'm using my brain to apply it. Okay. Now these resources are then made available to encourage compliance. Okay. Now the effect of power. You can see I told you you must say something about power, right? So the effect of power was also seen in the lockdown policy. Now I'm trying to back it up. Evidence showed that the adherence level to the use of face mask, hand washing, as to the regulations was improved from 76 to 90% to 90% between September 2020 and 2021. So power means like that means like using policy as a social control mechanism to restrict people's behavior to enforce compliance. But now I'm trying to criticize power. So I'm trying to criticize the policy again. So, however, it's exactly that you can see when you say however, it means I'm changing direction. Abi? Good. I hope you are following. Hello.
Yes, we are.
So if you're saying however, it means you are changing you want to introduce a counter argument. Now, so your policy, there's no policy that doesn't have a negative impact. So what's the negative impact of the policy on human capabilities? So the COVID-19 policy now, it reduces what? The quality of life of people. It made them isolated. You know, isolation causes depression, abi.
True.
So mental health increase. People had low self-esteem. So you can see there you get articles that support everything you're saying. Okay, it restricted people's movement. So what's the negative impact of housing? Yeah, there must be a negative impact of housing. Okay, so if you do some Google search, you see or Google Scholar, you see negative impact. So those are the impact on the what's individual capabilities. Okay, all these are all negative impacts. Okay, you can see other capabilities that were affected: housing, accommodation, human relationships, social interaction, education. So these are examples of policy. So it reduces participation in outdoor events. So if you're using housing policy, for example, now what are the negative impacts of housing policy in the UK? So I'm also backing it up with statistics too, with evidence. Okay, people lost their jobs. Are you see? So access to job decreased. See that? All right. So you can say that it prolonged, it negatively impacted the economy and affected people's livelihoods. So remember, I've stated the positive side and stated the negative side using what capability framework, right? So remember to write something around leadership. So check your materials, the materials that I gave you on leadership. Okay. My time is almost up, so I will stop. But at least I'm happy that I hope I've been able to explain concisely what capability approach is. Any question at this moment? Question.
Oh, sorry. Not a question. You made reference to a book. Is it the one authored by Paul Speaker?
Yes, Paul Speaker.
Okay, the book is Social Policy and Theories.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So find out the material they gave you on leadership and find a way to use any of the leadership models that fits into your policy.
Okay.
So here I introduce various leadership theories. There are many. I just mentioned three because I can't write everything. Continuous leadership, station leadership, and complexity leadership. So I was trying to get an article to support my this. So the one I was able to get was only in complexity leadership. So because of time, I struggled to understand, but I was able to somehow write something. So, so choose one leadership theory. I know that there is a material on leadership. Okay, so watch videos to understand the various types of leadership and find an article that use a leadership style. Remember, it is leaders that develop policies.
Yeah.
So, and policy making involves leadership. You need some leadership skills. So, find out choose one leadership style and apply it to your topic. So, here because that a healthcare system is a complex system. So, I had to use complexity leadership for my essay just to explain how leadership fits in. So, I said policymakers have seen the need to utilize a complex system approach. Okay, so a complex system means like using a whole approach. So you don't just it's not you're not using just biomedical approach or only um Daggrin model of health. So you are using all from the various dimensions. Okay, so a complex. So I don't start explaining this because you must not write on complexity leadership. So there are other simple ones that you can just make sure you write something on leadership style, how the leadership style can affect. So find an article in your topic that use a leadership style and then put it in. Okay. So let me talk about. Then you conclude. So let me talk about. So this is Newsbam. uh So I need to talk about the Human Development Index. I believe you are given assignment. So this is Newsbam minimum. Uh, so I told you that Newsbam criticized Sen, and then she now listed some the basic minimum capabilities that one should have. So you can read them in your book. The ability to have this one, being able to do the ability to do this one. So ability. So these are minimum ability. Then Robin also criticized Nussbaum and added one or two things again. So I have just 7 minutes more. So let's talk about Human Development Index. That's the last one. So I was talking about Human Development Index. You need to read about it. It should be in your personal reading or so, directed reading. So what is Human Development Index? So you need to watch a video on that. Make sure you cover the concept. Remember, I am not sharing the essay, but I'm just giving. So I discussed need. Remember, I discussed need. I discussed those concepts. Touch them just small. So I discussed social rights. Okay. I discussed what. Okay. So let's talk about Human Development Index. I believe for me, I believe that this might be what made me to get a high mark, to get 8 in this, because I had to look at how do I apply learning outcome 6. So check in your material. There must be something that shows that you have to retrieve data. If you check your module handbook, learning outcome number 6 said, oh, this is not opening, I don't know. Close. Open now. So, so learning outcome number 6 said that you have to retrieve data. So check in all your PowerPoints or your assignments. Check is anyone that involves retrieving data, okay, and applying it to find out. There must be one of them. So, but let's talk about Human Development Index because you need to understand what it means and how to interpret it. That's where we'll stop. So, Human Development Index. Where would I start from? Okay. So when you are defined, okay. Now, Human Development Index. Remember that we initially used to think that the measurement of prosperity of nations is only the gross domestic product. So assuming that Nigeria is producing 10.5 billion GDP per year, and South Africa is having 9.8. So we can say that Nigeria is doing well. So that was the initial thought. But Human Development Index is a composite indicator. So it doesn't only take into cognizance the financial activities of a nation. It also adds a measure of education and a measure of life expectancy. That is health. So it combines these three things into one. Okay, so it combines GDP. So here, the standard of living is measured in GDP. Okay, education or knowledge is measured in the mean year, is measured by mean years of schooling, while health is measured by life expectancy at birth. And then, so these are the three indicators in HDI. So a country can have higher GDP but have a lower overall HDI. So a country that has a higher Human Development Index is said to be doing better than a country that has a lower Human Development Index. So, assuming that Nigeria has 50, let's say Nigeria has uh, 60 point, maybe 60 billion uh, naira GDP as at the end of last year, okay, but their life expectancy at birth, the average life expectancy at birth is maybe how many years now? Life expectancy at birth. So let's say it should. Okay, let me use the one I wrote. So for example, now I said the GDP of Zambia and Nigeria in the year 2020. Okay, I had to retrieve this data where this and this. So this is Nigeria. So Nigeria had higher GDP, right? $4,910. While Zambia had a lower GDP. So if you're looking at this data, you say that Nigeria is doing better than Zambia. But you can see that Zambia had a higher Human Development Index score, which is 0.58, while Nigeria had 0.53. So why is this? Why is the HDI of Zambia higher? Is because so you can see that Zambia is more developed. Why? Because the life expectancy. You see that's why Zambia had higher HDI. The life expectancy and expected schooling years were higher in Zambia. So you can see that the life expectancy in Zambia, on the average of an adult, is 3.9 years. That means on the average, if by staying in Zambia, you expect to live at least 63.9, 64 years on the average by living in Zambia. But in Nigeria, you can see that the average life expectancy is what? Approximately 55 years. So everything is not about money. It's not about the GDP. So because Zambia had a higher life expectancy rate, even the average schooling years, expected schooling years in Zambia was 11.5. But in Nigeria, it was what? Just 10 years. So by being in Zambia, on the average, you'll be able to at 11 points. So anybody that is already sorry, like the average number of years people spend in school is 11.5 years. That is from primary school to university. But in Nigeria, the average is like 10 years. So you will say that because of this, the HDI score of Nigeria was lower. See that? So that is how to interpret your Human Development Index. Am I clear? Any question?
So I have a question.
Yeah, ask. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a bit of humor, but these statistics from Zambia and Nigeria,
Yeah,
with respect to how long they spend in university, from
yeah.
primary, is it from primary, secondary to university?
I am assuming that I don't
Okay.
have. I'm not sure of the
And then you say
definition. Yeah,
we do
yeah,
10
but
years.
it said expected schooling years. Expected schooling years.
Is
So
that
I don't know what's the definition of schooling,
okay?
expected schooling. So
I
I'm
might
not
have to
sure
look it up.
because I'm not an expert in this field. But
Okay.
yeah, to the best of my knowledge, this was the data I got from the website. Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. That's excluding ASU strike and other things.
Yes, exactly. Excluding ASU strike and other things. Yes, exactly. So how does this thing? So you can see that understanding the headgear is closely approximate to the level of welfare of the states. That's where we are coming to. So you can see that by measuring your head here, you are indirectly measuring the welfare provision in the state. So the impact of all these policies on the state. So time up. Any question? I think with this few
Yeah, I have a
parts of mine, I'll be able to introduce the social policy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Sorry, it's okay. It's not really a question. Like, sorry, can we have your mail, or can I have your mail? Let me be precise. Your email, so that
Yeah.
if there's any
My
question, I
my
can
school
just ask.
email. Okay, my temporary staff email. Let me just type this here. I thought people. If you search my name, though they made a mistake in my surname, but that is what I'm using. A-U Wanda U. They made a mistake in my at bradford.ac.uk. So please, I don't review essays, though. I hope you know.
No. It's
So
not about review of
all
essay.
right.
No, just maybe
Okay.
this
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Okay. So
What
if you have any question as regards what I've taught, you can ask. I will answer you. Okay.
It's not
So
.com though. You wrote .com.
oh, Bradford. Sorry. Bradford.ac. Oh, what did I do again? Why now? Bradford. I don't know why it's.
It's a strong email.
Undo. Okay. ac.uk. Okay, so that's my. I hope it's bold enough, right?
Yeah, sorry, I have a question. For example, you said you worked on COVID-19 policies. So, like COVID-19 had lots of policies on testing, policy on diagnosis, policy on prevention. So, if you're saying like COVID-19 policy, was it everything you're looking at, or a particular one of those policies?
I was looking at just the general rules. The gov.uk website, open COVID-19 rules and regulations.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just looking at the rules listed on their site, on their website. So lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah, on the gov. So my source was majorly gov.uk.
Okay.
COVID-19 response also. So all those guidelines that they are using. Okay.
Yeah.
So I read a lot of them and then just try to apply it on my topic. So, but if you're looking at housing policy or you have to, first of all, if you any policy you want to look at, you can just go to your library. Like I know that there are books on housing policy, for example. You search, you see whether you see anything on housing policy. Assuming that you can see now housing policy in Australia, you can see that it's a nice topic again. I think I read this book concerning housing policy. I read this book.
Okay.
So you just search for any policy of your choice. Housing policy. I'm even so you can see there are many books on housing policy actually. So you check the library for the books. If you can't see them, then you can use internet.
Okay.
Any policy of your choice, yeah.
And from anywhere as well.
Yeah, anywhere. There's no restriction. Yeah. The main thing is for you to understand the how to use the capability approach. Because if you don't understand what's capability, you'll be just you know you just run around and how to coin it into your topic, how to merge it into your essay. So, but
Okay.
once you have understood what's the capability, you can easily apply anything into it. So
All
the
right. So
problem is actually understanding the framework.
okay. I was trying to like do an outline from what you're discussing. Like you followed, but at some point I got lost. You from the way your work went or the sample you showed, you gave like a definition and contrasted them, then stated the aim, the models of social policy, and then which one applies to your
Yeah,
topic.
I was following my lecture notes. I was
Oh,
following the modules that we have done. So I don't know whether they did something new for you guys. Do you understand? So, but what I'm following is what we have been done. All those both the directed reading. All those assignments they give you now in class.
yeah.
Maybe personal reading. So I follow all those things. I make sure I represent all those things in my essay.
Oh, okay.
Because yes, most times those things are the things they say they call it the reading, but if you put in your essay, you get high mark. So and I made sure that I retrieved my data to fulfill the learning outcome
6.
number 6.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much. You've been a great
So
source of
I
help.
think I've been able to those that are willing to be helped. I've helped them to this tutorial. I'll upload this on my YouTube channel. So any question, you have my email address. Just pop up my email and then I will answer the question. So you can see I did this. I believe that maybe they were impressed by what I did. They will say, "Who is this guy?" You see that? So now, so just find a way of giving your essay a unique touch so that you be different from others. You understand? That's simple.
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much for attending. You know, there's a lot of extra information for those that take extra mile. So thank you for being in attendance, and God bless you. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Yeah, it's been so much help. Thank you.
Your effort
Yeah, bye.
so much. Bye.